We were talking about Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, and you start to think about all these players in the past year who weren't playing, aren't playing for whatever reasons. Calvin Ridley, Ben Simmons, Marvin Bagley, John Wall, Zion, Kyrie, Deshaun Watson, Simone Biles, Trevor Bauer, Naomi Osaka. I mean, there's real star power that hasn't played for a variety of reasons. We still don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson because there has been no information on that. Yes, Eden.
Simone Biles not being able to compete in the Olympics was stunning.
Yeah.
That was shocking.
Yeah. And then you start to hear her talking about this, and what I think we were watching live during the show, and Paulie goes, Simone Biles, she's not competing. She's grabbing her bag, she's leaving. And I go, wait, what? And then you realize what was happening in real time. Her teammates were finding out in real time. And a lot of this was she compartmentalized what happened with Larry Nassar when there was sexual abuse. And, you try to put it to the side because you're representing your country. You're making all this money in endorsements. Like, there's a lot of pressure. You're the face of women's gymnastics. You're one of the faces that NBC is selling with the Olympics. And it came out. It comes out in different times, in different places. As somebody who's battled depression, there are times when it happens where you don't even know why it happened and why you feel a certain way. But for Simone Biles, she got in that moment, and she couldn't get out of that moment, and probably still has a hard time defining it, explaining it. And people who have depression have a hard time convincing or telling people, explaining to people, hey, this is what it's like. Oh, come on, cheer up. And it's not that easy. Hey, come on, you got everything, cheer up. And, the misconceptions of depression. And here's Simone Biles, who, these women had to go through this, and then go out there and put a smile on your face. Go represent your country. And it just kind of was this wave that hit her, and she was like, I can't do it. And that's why when people talked about, Tom Brady winning Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year, and I thought, okay, we won a Super Bowl. It's a great story, but it's not a great story that hasn't been told about Tom Brady. Simone Biles, Giannis, those were two that came to mind. Certainly Giannis. I mean, that's a great story. I mean, that's a story that should be told and continue to be told. What he came from, to what he's accomplished, to what he wants to continue to be. And staying in Milwaukee. And I don't know. There's just so much more to that. Who was the other name that I brought up aside from Giannis? Shohei Ohtani. Thank you, Paulie. That's a great story, too. I mean, it's never happened before. Like he got flair, coming over another country, owning All-Star Week. I don't know. There was just so much more to it. And I loved Sports Illustrated when I was able to be a part of the Sportsman of the Year award. And I took great pride in it because it meant so much to me growing up. Tom Brady, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a cop-out. It was just, there was nothing new. Tell the stories. Tell the stories. Giannis, Ohtani, even Simone Biles, to have the courage to do that. And it did take courage for her to do that. Because I know people are saying, oh, you quit her and you walked away and you're not tough. And I don't think she went, I'd rather be doing something else than on this stupid balance beam. I don't think it was planned. I think it hit her in real time. And that's rare. Remember when Kevin Love walked off the floor? It hit him right then. It's not one of those behind the scenes where you go, what happened? Not a good headspace. Like Calvin Ridley. I don't know what's going on with Calvin. But I respect what's going on with him, that he had to check himself out. I understand that. Yeah, Todd.
You can easily argue the true toughness is recognizing you have a problem and being able to speak up and actually do something about it instead of continuing on and spiraling and playing the game and doing what you're expected to do when you just physically and mentally can't get there.
Well, we're so used to the athlete who fights through it. Well, you can fight through an injury. Fighting through depression or whatever it was that, she was thinking about or going through, that's not something that's easily diagnosed. Like, I don't put a Band-Aid on it. I don't wrap it up. I don't ice it. And I think that's the tricky part of this. Because those who are not knowledgeable or naive or insensitive can pile on somebody because they don't want to play or they can't play. They don't feel like playing. And it's so much more than that. And until you understand that, or you have somebody who is with you and you can understand it firsthand, then you'll never get it. Depression. That's why I thought Simone Biles would have been great for Sports Person of the Year, because it would have been something that nobody would have expected. And I love the Greek Freak story and Shohei Ohtani as well. Those were stories that needed to be told. Tom Brady's story, look, he's the greatest. There's nothing new here. Yeah, Paul.
I was watching the other day. It was like one of those sports year in review shows, and they were showing the footage from the Olympics where Simone Biles is shutting it down. And what's not covered enough is the other athletes too. Some of the other women on the team, they're not supposed to be in that event, and they have 2 minutes heads up. I think it was Jordan Childs is one of the competitors. She wasn't supposed to be in that event. She wasn't warmed up, ready for the day, like to participate. And she had okay, you're up, go. And they don't give you like a 20-minute warm-up timeout because your teammate had to tap out. And it was fascinating to see the other athletes get their turns with almost no heads up, the other gymnasts.
And Simone stayed there and wanted to be a cheerleader. Like, it was important. And she could have gone back into the locker room and nobody would have blamed her. But she got dressed, but she said, no, it's your guys' time. And she wanted to stay there and cheer them on. Yes, Eden.
It's one of those things that you just don't really ever think about, the twisties. But as a gymnast, I'm sure it's like common knowledge. But as just somebody watching on TV, it's like, dang, yeah, if you lose that ability to just have like supreme confidence in what you're doing and knowing which way is up and which way is down, I mean, it's just like crippling.
And you don't even think about it because, they've been doing this. And then when you start thinking about, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this, or I can't do it the way I'm supposed to do this. Then they're going to take points off because I didn't complete what I was supposed to do. And then you get into your head. And I say this all the time about athletes. They don't think. They don't want to think. They think in preparing for those moments. But you don't want, you react. It's so subconscious of what you do. And I always bring up John McEnroe as an example because I asked him, I said, how do you do what you do? And he goes, I don't know. Because you do it. When you're preparing, you're like, okay, I'll practice these shots. But then the ball is hit. Now you have to hit that shot. And that's like Steph Curry. How do you do it? He probably can't explain it because he just does it. You talk to an actor. How do you do it? I don't know. I just do it. When you start to think about it, then you're not able to do it. It's weird. It's just asking Joe Montana about this. Like, what do you think when you go to line of scrimmage? And he said, I've already done my homework. I know Jerry's there. I know John Taylor's there. I know that I got Roger Craig out of the backfield. But he doesn't know what the defense is going to do. So that's when you go, okay, I'm going to process this in real time and then react naturally. Because you can't go, all right, I got 3 seconds, 2 seconds. I got to start thinking here. It's like, I got that, and then this is what I do. And that's where I marvel at these athletes. They don't think. They try not to. Because it feels like the more you think, the more you kind of get in your own way. That mental block or whatever that is. And guys will talk about going to the plate. Hey, I'm gonna wait for a fastball. They just go up there and they go, if I see it, I'm going to hit it. And that's what the great ones would do. But you go up with a game plan. You always have to have that game plan. But it's when you get in that moment, what do you do when it's live? when those are real bullets there, and you're going, oh, my God. You don't have time to go, could you hold on for a second? I got to think about this.